2013 is called to order.
Good to see you. You already said all that stuff?
No, just now. I call the meeting to order.
Okay.
Mendicino, Byrnes, Villanova.
Yes, we're here.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, bless this assemblage. Grant us the wisdom to make our every decision fair-minded and in the best interest for all its residents. Thank you. Okay. Very good.
Oh, thank you. Sure.
And do we have any presentations tonight?
Thank you.
No present.
No presentations. Very good. And we'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes from January 15th.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Very good. Call the roll. Or no, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Very good. Comments from the public? Anyone? Comments from the public? No? Okay, very good. Okay.
Told he's not here.
Resolution, homestead-based proportion for the town. Mitch, give us the Reader's Digest version.
Reader's Digest version. The resolution in front of the town board is to establish the homestead-based proportions. We do this annually each year. This year's proportions, which benefit the homeowners to the extent it's possible, would result in 69.5% of the town's tax levy being allocated to the homeowners and 30.48% allocated to the commercial or non-homestead class. Just for contrast, the actual proportions would be absent homestead would be 69.5%, would be 69.5% and 30.48%. I'm sorry, that's 69% and 30. So that this wrong numbers. I'm sorry. Would be 60. All right, we go to the original. It would be 76% homestead and 23.8% non-homestead. So by establishing this homestead-based proportion, this rate, the town board is allocating approximately 7% of the town tax levy from the homeowners to the commercial base.
Very good. We'll entertain a motion to accept this resolution.
Motion to accept.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. And Mitch, you might as well stay up there for, this will be for Monument Park Associates?
Monument Park Associates. This is resolution of a certiorari that spanned the years 2006 through 2012. In the aggregate, there was approximately $25 million in assessment in dispute. In the end, it was resolved by the town with a reduction of about $1.4 million in assessments. And I would just point out that most of the reductions are in the early years, and the last 2 years there are no reductions.
Yes, this seems to be a very solid resolution, and obviously we have the support of the schools in this as well.
Yes.
Okay, very good. We'll entertain a motion to pass this resolution.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay. And Resolution C, this is for Strobe Development.
This is a resolution, again, to settle an existing certiorari. It's a settlement involving 2 years, year 2011 assessment year and 2012 assessment year. The resolution reduces the assessment of 2011 from $7,512,100 to $5.5 million. In 2012, it reduces it similarly from $7.5 million to $5.2 million. Again, this is a resolution of certiorari. The reason that the reduction is so great is because there was a mistake in the inventory collected in the calculation of their assessment.
Okay, and the purpose of grabbing this right now is to limit...
The purpose of grabbing this right now is to minimize any reductions or any paybacks. 2012 tax assessment has not yet even been used to levy taxes,
right.
So there's no refund involved. It was the thought process of myself and the attorneys that the sooner we resolve it, the better it is for everybody.
I agree, and I think it's a very prudent decision. I'll entertain a motion to accept this resolution.
So moved.
Second. What was it in 2010, though? Do you know?
It was actually higher than the 5.5 we agreed to.
Okay,
I can't recall the precise number.
Give me 1 second.
Take your time.
While we're just standing here now at the podium, I would make a point that these 3 resolutions are part of a larger package that involve 5 properties. The 2 properties for which you see no resolutions in front of the town board, they are withdrawing their cases against the town as part of this settlement. So there are 2 other properties where there's no reductions, no paybacks, nothing. They agreed to withdraw them.
Is it by the same owner or the same attorneys? Like, why would it be
It's the
packaged?
same attorney.
Okay.
We basically told them we're going to do everything or nothing.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Did we pass that resolution? No.
No, I was waiting for your return.
Okay. We have a motion?
So moved.
We have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. And Resolution D, this is for 143 North Main Street. This is for Wallhour.
Yes, this is a 5,050 square foot retail store. In the aggregate, we had a dispute over $6 million in assessments. As we resolved it, there's reductions in the early years totaling $230,000. This closes the book for the years 2006 through 2012 inclusively.
And I just want to make mention that from 2010, 11, and 12, the reduction is 0, and that's what we're striving for. We're striving to update the inventory as precise as we can where the numbers are spot on, where there is no room for reduction. So good job there, Mitch.
Yes.
Thank you.
Again, do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
And all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, very good. Okay, thank you, Mitch. The next resolution is Resolution E, New York State Pathway Through History Weekends. Bishop, do you want to speak to this?
I think this is great.
This is Greg, very good.
Thank you. With your permission, Deputy Supervisor, may I ask Peter Feinman to join me, because it was through him that we really...
Perfect.
Okay, Peter?
Peter, good to see you again.
Same.
Just so, basically, we're talking about joining the rest of New York State in celebrating our heritage in the first 2 weeks in June. Peter, can you help us?
Heritage Weekend is a program that New York State started several years ago, usually in May between Mother's Day and Memorial Day, where communities throughout the state were asked to have an event of some kind which would be listed on the state website. Governor Cuomo has started last August with the kickoff of the Pathway Through History program designed to increase tourism in the state, and apparently they're combining these 2 items now in this Pathway Through History New York State Heritage Weekend, which is a bit of a mouthful. It's the first 2 weekends in June. And what I'm proposing here is, besides just looking at it as a tourist opportunity, we really look at it as a community heritage opportunity where we can get the different constituencies, peoples of the community involved in and become aware of the history of this community itself, Town of Rye. And that's why the resolution also asks that we contact the 2 villages, as well as some of the schools and elsewhere, to be involved in it. So this would be a day of tours, walking tours, bus tours, visiting the cemetery that was a site that we've been at the Greenwood, the African American Cemetery. Walking tours on the different streets of it, visiting the different churches that represent the different communities here, having food, of course, because what would a celebration be without food? So it's a way of making the people aware of the heritage and the history of this community, whether they've been here since the English arrived hundreds of years ago, or whether they just arrived and became a citizen or a resident in the last few weeks or months. So the entire history of the town of Rye is really part of their heritage. And this is to expose them, the teachers if we can, the realtors, who we should not overlook because they should learn about the community where they're trying to sell the homes. They should know about it. And it's just a way of getting the community involved in its own heritage and becoming aware of all these monuments and statues they walk by and have no idea what they are and how that relates to them today. So that's the purpose behind this.
Okay.
I had one other comment that's not part of the resolution. Under New York State law, every municipality is required to have a municipal historian. To the best of my knowledge, we do not.
We do.
We do.
The ad hoc historian is Nick Mecca.
Oh, we do have a, okay.
As a matter of fact...
Is he listed on the website there, and he submits the report to...
Nick was the ad hoc historian, and I remember when I first started, being involved with the town of Rye, Nick would take a portion of the meeting, and you remember Michelle, and he used to do a historic minute.
Oh, okay.
And he has one this evening.
Oh, okay, because I was going to suggest Doug Carey if he's available for it, but that's fine if you have one.
Yeah.
That's okay. So I think the official municipal historian, who, by the way, should be listed on the website as the historian, should be part, I think, of the planning process in this project as well. And I'm pleased to hear that we have one.
Now, while you're there, Peter, because we want to be able to act appropriately.
Yes.
And just from what I'm getting here is that we need to implement a committee.
I think it's best if it be done through a committee because we want to get all the community heritage organizations involved.
Right.
So that involves reaching out to them. It's making this a community event.
Peter, would you be able to chair the committee?
I could be part of it, yes.
Okay. And Greg, you'd be able to help him?
Sure.
And we can use our new radio frequency? No.
Yeah. So, okay. So let's just make, as part of this resolution, Hope, we will add number 4 to this, that Peter Feinman will be the chair of this committee. And we'll obviously use the resources through Mr. Arcaro's office, and then obviously anything that the Town of Rye Board can give you, any of our assets. Let us know, what we could do to...
what kind of assets did you have in mind?
They can take a tour of Town Hall. We'll keep our doors
Well, for the most part, I know that over the past few years, Bishop has, created a wealth of knowledge, and then over the past year, Greg has also pulled that together. So, whatever information we can bring forward, we'll do that. And
even we were just talking about the photos from the Crawford family that we have on, we have.
Correct. So
we've sort of slowly been building over the years some
we've
archives.
digitized a lot of the historic records so that they are in a searchable type of environment.
Play right
we
into
have
it.
original documentation downstairs, like a room full of it. So,
there are a lot of pieces that can be brought together.
Sure.
Some of which was probably done as part of the anniversary celebration.
Well,
as well.
Absolutely.
Right.
So we may have one.
Okay, so that's our thank you, Mr. Feinman. And so I'll entertain a motion to accept the resolution as amended, giving the endorsement from the Rye Town Board to participate with Pathway Through History and Pathway Through History Weekends, and form a committee named the Heritage Committee for this event, chaired by Mr. Feinman and supported by the Rye Town staff. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
There we go. We got the second too. Perfect. Okay. And all in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Arcaro, and thank you, Mr. Feinman. And the next resolution is a 2013 grant application for New York State.
Mr. Arcaro.
Very good.
Thank you. I think this one is enjoyable and pretty straightforward. For the past couple of years, New York State's been helpful to us here at the town in preserving some historic records that, among those that were damaged, including from the last April's storm. But we have another opportunity here due March 1st, and I think both Nick and Hope have identified a number of records that we would submit in the application for switching from paper and microfilm to digitizing and makes for safer and easier access.
What is the value of this grant?
We haven't finished that yet.
Okay.
The last successful ones have been in the 5 to, help me here, 5 to 10?
5 to 10,000 range, and this is a true grant.
Yes.
Where we're receiving monies. It's not a matching grant. It doesn't cost the town or the taxpayers anything. Well, it costs the taxpayers of New York State something, because that's where the money came from. But it's not a matching grant where the town of Rye is subject to matching dollar for dollar. Very good. Will the Chair entertain a motion to accept this resolution?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. Arcaro.
Thank you.
Okay, the assessor, Mitch, is there anything else we need to know?
No, thanks.
Very good. Finance, Mr. Byrnes? I know we have a report for tonight.
Yes. I just wanted to mention that the tax receivable report through January 31st. The town attorney, I guess he's down in Australia, so we'll have a full report, I guess, for the next meeting. But we still have quite a few properties, in-rent properties from the current year, 17 in total, that still have not paid their taxes. So he's, when he gets back, I guess he's already started the process to, with the courts, to have those transferred over to the town. And I guess he's been providing some extensions, but once he gets back, he'll be submitting that to the courts.
Okay.
So then the next process after that, if that does take place, would be is to do another auction, in this late spring.
Very good.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Byrnes. Receiver of taxes, Mr. Mecca? And the historic minute.
Deputy Supervisor Villanova, members of the Town Council, first you won't get a big smile from me. I broke a tooth and I'm a little embarrassed. But anyway,
The candy was worth it.
the first point this evening is that in 10 days, the second installment of the Village of Rybrook Village tax is due. If you are responsible for your taxes, please look for the yellow bill or call the office or whatever so that you have it paid by the 28th of February. It's short months coming quickly. Number two, we mailed out over 500 notices. There are over 500 parcels this year that have 2012 taxes unpaid. And this is a very large number. It's the largest it's been in quite some time. And all this money, the town will soon, in the next few months, have to guarantee the levies for the schools and the villages and the counties. So, folks out there, please, if you have a notice, and that incorporates county and town tax, school taxes, and the Village of Portchester tax. Rybrook we haven't addressed yet because, as I say, you still have time to make your second payments. So would you please, if you have those notices, address those payments and get them to us as quickly as possible.
Mr. Mecca, Honorable Mr. Mecca, in keeping with some dialogue with other tax receivers, this is obviously a trend that we're going to see more so the next few years.
Unfortunately, yes.
Okay. What I was reading some articles, and for the most part, obviously the economy is bad, and we all know that, and where people are actually they're taking all of their assets that they have, maxing their credit cards, taking money out of the bank, just to keep their house afloat. And the unfortunate thing, in doing so, they may still be in jeopardy at the end as well. So I really think that we should probably, and when we have a full board, we should sit down specifically with probably Mr. Mecca, Mr. Byrnes, and Mr. Noto, and try to identify what the future is going to bring, because this is only going to get worse. But we need to put ourselves in a position where we either need to adjust something that we need to do, because we're not talking We're not talking about 15 or 20 parcels where people are just maybe it's an absentee landlord or something along those lines. We're coming into the thick of things now, and we're realizing that we have a lot of family homes that are becoming in jeopardy. So we need to be proactive, having this knowledge, because we need to protect our residents.
We have to be prepared.
So let's make that our focus. Maybe not for March's meeting, but for April's meeting.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah, by that time we'll have the county bills out there too, so we'll have a little better direction on how things have kind of cleaned up before the new year begins.
Right. And then if you can possibly reach out, maybe Hope can help you, reach out to the New York State Association of Towns, and let's try to pull in as much information as we can to see what other people may be doing, other towns, tax receivers may be doing to help mitigate this issue.
Well, there's lots of discussions. We have a luncheon once a month, and many are doing so, but unfortunately the receiver's hands are all tied. It's all by the state and government above agents that have control over those things.
Right.
Like one big thing is the county, 2 payments. The county doesn't want to hear anything about that.
Well,
so there's a lot of areas that really can be addressed, that can be helpful with the proper authorities coming on to play.
I know that the town of Rise has been very proactive to no avail with trying to change and introduce legislation in Albany. That has not worked in the past, even though the effort has been valiant. But something does need to change, and the legislators above us need to understand that.
And take a hard look at it and see. Not only for us, for the entire state of New York.
No doubt.
Where's it going? So, okay, we'll take a look at that.
Thank you, Mr. Mecca. And our historical minute.
Yes, while I'm here in recognition of Black History Month, this is, the town of Rye, as it was discussed tonight, is over 350 years old. And back in its days, it was very heavy farmland. And due to that, it had a substantial number of slaves. So I have here the list, which before the Emancipation Proclamation over 200 years ago, residents of the town of Rye freed their slaves. And here they are by names and what residents had slaves. And if you go down and look, it's like here. You want to pass one each to the board so you have it, and pass. Whoever wants one, you're more than welcome to have.
And folks, any of these documents, that you like to look at or maybe get a copy of, Mr.
More than
Mecca
happy.
will be able to.
These are transcripts. The original ones are in the town clerk's vault and never get handled. These were just transcripts that were done, I believe, in the late 40s. But if you go down, I see you start here, Armour. Armour is the first red brick wall when you go into Rye.
Oh, yeah.
That was Armour Star. Yes, the meat people who were also Canadian Club. They also owned the liquor. So they had, the Browns, of course, they had a big farm up off King Street. The Bushes, of course, you have Homestead.
Yeah.
If you come down all the way, Halsteads were down in Rye. The J Estates are in Rye on the Boston Post Road. Lyons, of course, you had Lyons Farm, which is now Lyons Farm and Park. But these were all slave owners that had large tracts of land. And before the government, the United States, freed their slaves, the town folks of the town of Rye gave them freedom. So here's the 30-something that were released at that time. Okay?
Thank you.
And here you have John Ian. How do you say the Guion Bridge? Guion. The Guion family burial grounds that we own.
They're all there. Halstead, Guion.
That's incredible. I'll put these in a minute.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Mecca. And Town Clerk?
Okay, I submitted the report. I don't know if you want me to.
No, we have that. That's purely financial, correct?
But I would like to mention that the Westchester County Shred Mobile will be coming to the town of Rye. Parking lot on March 30th from 10 to 2. And I'm just urging people to get some of their things ready if they would like to come and have them shred.
Okay. That's the Shredmobile.
I thought it went really well last
What
time.
was the date again, Hope?
March 30th,
March 30th.
and it's from 10 to 2.
10 to 2. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we're going to have them come again in October, so just make the plans.
All right, Bishop, Crawford Park.
No, I'll give you a little bit more than just Crawford Park.
Right, I appreciate that.
But Crawford Park, the floors have been refinished. They were finished up this past Saturday. A wonderful-looking job. In this particular case, the board should be aware we finished both the second floor rooms. There are 4 rooms on the second floor, as well as the entire first floor. So we're ready to go over there. We still have tree work to do in the park. The snow kind of slowed things down a little bit, and the rain and so forth. There are 4 dead trees that are still standing that we have to take down, as well as there's 20 to 30 stumps throughout the park that still need to be removed. Most of those are from actually Hurricane Sandy. The town insurance has actually paid us for all of the damage at Crawford Park. What we're talking about is the physical damage. We got a check for $29,000 and change. That covered things like the roof damage that we had on the mansion, the roof damage on the caretaker's cottage, and that also covered us for the electrical service replacement, the transformer, the lights, the telephone poles, etc., that we had to replace. We are now looking at, and better yet, maybe I should give you a copy of the maintenance log. This was something that I had sent you online. Just so you know, this is how Greenway and I are working on this. We think it's going to be a good system to be able to keep track of the day-to-day work that they do. The routine work is in that right-hand column. And the first 2 columns are all the tasks that we still have open. These are things that we are planning on doing and getting done. So it allows us to track it. It allows them to report when it's done. And it gives us a little vehicle to give to the board so that the board can keep tabs on what's happening there. In addition, we're in the process of getting fence bids for the equipment corral. There was some damage to the various fence panels and so forth. We are also getting painting bids for the mansion exterior, and we're working with the Friends of Crawford Park on redecorating the buffet room, or otherwise known as the Blue Room. So we had a couple of meetings there. I know Councilman Collins was at the last meeting. We've picked some colors. We're going to try and redo the lighting as well. We think we have a company that's going to give us some pro bono design work. Not the lighting itself, but they're going to help us with the design, and that should be terrific. George Hogben is doing a bang-up job for us in terms of walking the parks and running through the parks every day. He is now emailing the board every day in terms of what's going on. I think that's absolutely a great development. And Crawford Park, you saw the report. We had a very weak month in the month of January. Part of it was the results of Sandy were still lingering. We think that that has dissuaded a lot of people in terms of having parties and events and so forth.
Have we gotten much interest, and people just aren't accepting what we're showing them, or? No,
in talking with Dave Thomas, who deals with people every day, the price and the combination of the alcohol policy and the police policy has been turning some business away, which we don't necessarily see as bad.
Yeah, but that's like a $40,000.
But we think the economy. I think what you just heard from tax receiver Mecca. That I think the economy is starting to beat up on people, and people just aren't throwing lavish parties anymore.
I agree with you there, Bishop.
Yeah.
Okay. Wrighttown Park, I just want to give you a brief update there. We have a meeting scheduled with FEMA on this Thursday. It's primarily a paperwork meeting to try and organize all the various project worksheets, as they call them. The seawall repairs are going to be coordinated by the City of Rye. Remember, they own part of the seawall. They own the seawall part that faces the ocean, faces the sound. So they are going to be the ones to coordinate that, and we will just allocate the costs, some cost, a percentage of whatever part of the wall belongs to us, we'll pay. Seaside Johnny's, the snack bar repairs have begun. They got clearance from their insurance company. They are in the process of emptying the place out and beginning the repairs to the snack bar. We had a roof adjuster in there on Saturday, just this past Saturday. This is a special roof adjuster. We had a lot of roof damage. We think that's one of the big numbers that's going to be there. We're not sure whether insurance is going to pick up the tab, whether FEMA is going to pick up the tab, or whether it will be a combination of both. But he was there Saturday. I expect his report. He said in a week to 10 days we would get a report from him. And we are getting estimates on various fence repairs down there, and also beach walk repairs. A lot of the beach walk was washed away, so we're in the process of doing that down at Rytown Park. I also want to give you another document. This is primarily for your bedtime reading.
Soon.
But this is the draft RFP for property services. We have been trying to pull this thing together. One of the things that we've decided is we are going to actually have 3 RFPs. So this is the first one, which covers what we would call the maintenance services. These are the tasks that would have been done by our staff had we kept them. But now we're going to have these repairs done by an outside company. So take a look at it. What we're trying to deal with here is you'll see mostly maintenance-related items. In fact, the page to look at, quite frankly, is page number 11. And you'll see a listing of all the various services that we're going to be looking for. Remember, it covers 10 Pearl Street. It covers Crawford Park. It covers Rytown Park. It covers Rytown Dock, and in fact, it covers any of our properties that may need maintenance services.
And Bishop, this proposal here is day-to-day repairs and maintenance exclusive of landscaping, snow removal, and trees.
Sure, this would be like replacing that light bulb above your head that's out.
Got it.
All right, that would be the kind of thing that would... if we needed some small painting, if we had a sink that was leaking.
Understood.
All of that kind of stuff.
Okay.
All right, now, it is in draft form. We are looking for you to possibly allow the supervisor to release this subject to the review of the town attorney.
Okay, so that being said, I'd like to a motion to add this to the agenda.
So moved.
Have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Very good. And then we'll entertain a motion to instruct the supervisor of the town of Rye to release this request for proposal upon the approval of the town attorney Noto. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Very good. All in favor?
Aye.
I have a question. You just want us to look at this now? You don't want to discuss anything in here, do you?
Oh, yeah, you're welcome to
Well,
bring
just
up...
the one thing that I see here is that you have snow and ice removal. That's not included under our current contract for maintenance of the grounds?
Well, we threw it in here because property management, or excuse me, property services, that is a property service. We are separately going to be bidding landscaping, snow removal, and trash removal. That's going to be a separate RFP. However...
Separate from grass cutting?
No, landscaping is the grass cutting. That's not in here.
Okay.
Snow removal technically is not in here. Technically it's listed only because it's part of that service. But when we write the contract, when we ultimately write the contract, we will put snow removal where it basically is priced best.
So you just want to make sure that they have the capability of doing...
Yeah, if I hire a property services company under this situation and they come in with an attractive snow removal price, I want to have the option to be able to sign them up here as opposed to my existing snow removal agreement with Greenway.
Sure.
All right? But so just because it's listed there doesn't mean it's going to wind up there.
Okay. So, but would someone bidding have to be able to deal with every single one of those items on the list then?
No, if you look at
I didn't
page...
read,
I'm sorry.
obviously.
I understand. One of the things that we're giving
You only told me to look at page 1.
I apologize. What we're saying here is that firms may respond to one or both of the principal categories listed in Section D. Indicate which service you are offering for or intend to cover in your letter. Firms are not required to respond to categories that they do not intend to provide services for.
Okay, so they can just check off.
So that's why when you look at that listing, you can see the little check boxes there. They can check off this, and this. I'll give you these services for X.
All right.
And what we hope is that that's going to be able to produce the lowest combination of costs for us.
Gotcha.
I just have a quick question back on the monthly report, the Crawford monthly report.
Yep.
When we have boot camp and Zumba and other things that go on, which I know we've been having this month, are those not reflected in the count of events that took place in the mansion? Or is that listed
They should
somewhere
be.
else?
Yes, they should be.
I think we'd have to double check that. To say only one thing occurred in the mansion all month long seems like a stretch.
Well, you have to look up on top because, for example, we don't get paid for Zumba.
Right, but it should still be in the count, shouldn't it?
Yes, it should
so
be.
That's where it is?
It's going to be in the nonprofit item there because it's really sponsored by Rye Brook Recreation, and Rye Brook Recreation does not give us any money.
What about the boot camp? Are they giving us a first
Boot
session
camp
fee?
Does, yes.
Where would that be? Where would those funds be?
They really don't use the facility. They exercise outside.
Right.
So we don't even list them that way because they're there 2 days. They're there 2 days a week, and they move around. If for example, there's a soccer game going on, they'll practice down at the other end of the park.
Where they were, but they're really not captured in an actual event.
That's correct.
Bishop, this Zumba class, do we have an agreement with them?
An agreement? No, not really. I mean, we do have what we would call a schedule.
Do they have insurance?
Yes, they provide us with insurance.
Okay.
But they just don't provide us any money.
All right, you know what? Let's take a look at that. I think it's important, and Councilwoman Mendicino, and also Councilwoman Collins. I think that we would. It's a new year. What I would suggest is to give us a list of all the people or all the entities that are using Crawford Park and the properties free of charge.
Yep.
And we want to review that again. I think it's prudent to review that list each year, and let's see where we are with them and whether or not their a relationship needs to be changed at all.
Sure.
You go, Michelle?
Yeah.
Okay. Sure.
All right.
Okay.
Do we have an impact of like the floors and any of the events that? I mean, are we going to try and protect these new floors that have been redone?
Well, that's one of the reasons why we're doing the floors. For example, last time we did them was a year ago. What we are intending to do now, and by the way, we did it 2 years in a row, so we're building up a base, a finished base on the floors that will allow us to every 6 months go in and do what we call a screening. All they would do is they would basically rough up the floor, strip off any build-up, etc., and then they would put 2, 3, or 4 more coats down. There's no sanding that's going to be going on from here on in. Okay, only to relayer the poly on there. Once the poly gets thick enough, at that particular point, it's like a gym floor. You almost can't kill it, and that's what we're hoping to get to. The problem, however, is there's a bit too much movement in the Crawford Park floor. I think Councilwoman Mendicino had brought that up a couple of years ago. Underneath in the basement, we do have support columns and support beams in various areas, but they are spread kind of wide, and as a result, if you happen to be in the midpoint between two sets of support columns, you might feel a little bit of flexing in the floor.
Well, knowing that, why don't we be a little proactive in that sense, and grab a couple more columns and put them in some strategic places. I think a column is, I want to say the column $600.
Yeah, it's peanuts.
Okay,
I agree with you.
Let's identify the strategic areas where we can place these columns, and I would suggest put them in by by next month's meeting, and let's let's get a report on that as well.
Okay, good.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's it.
Thank you very much. And you'll notify the supervisor and Attorney Noto?
Yes.
Okay. And Superintendent of Highways, we received this report electronically. John, do you want me to give the highlights?
Whatever you need. Do you have any questions?
I don't have any questions. Obviously, the Jefferson Avenue Bridge is still under fabrication.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, let me just give you a little.
Very good.
We had a status meeting this morning over in the village of Mamaroneck, and the beams are just about completed, and they're starting to clear the site and get it ready. There's work there every day now, and they're going to build the cofferdams. And once those cofferdams are built, they'll be able to remove the center pier and also put in the pilings so they can build the bridge abutments. And all that work is starting to take place now. They're putting together a weekly schedule, and we're going to get weekly notices on what work is going on which week, and the engineers are going to be there every week to inspect to make sure things are being done right.
Perfect.
So.
All right, and I just want to jump down to the South Barry Avenue Bridge. There's going to be a pre-bid conference held on-site on the bridge on March 5th.
Yes.
Sealed bids will be opened here March 26th, and that contract will be awarded to begin work in April of this year.
Yes, that's to repair the wing wall on the Otter Creek Bridge.
Very good.
And do the maintenance that's required on the bridge itself.
All right, and it appears that everything else under your purview is in good condition.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. DeCresenzo. Okay. Comments from the council people. Michelle.
I actually have nothing.
And
Maybe
Christie.
a bird.
No comment.
Okay, I just want to reiterate what Mr. Nowotnik was talking about before. I've seen Mr. Hodgman on numerous occasions down at Crawford Park. In addition to seeing him there, his reports on a daily basis, without fail, have been nothing but perfect for us, giving us an overview of what's happening with our properties. Greenway property, this other report that was given to us tonight, that ongoing report of items, projects that need to be done versus the daily projects is also very good. The accountability is at a level that we haven't seen as long as I've been here, and I'm very happy with that. And then that's all. So I want to thank everybody for coming to the meeting tonight. I want to apologize for having to leave the meeting a couple of times. My daughter's sick, and that's where I'm going now. So everybody have a good night. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Very good. Thank you and good night.
Mendicino, Collins.
You did set a new record.
Now you.
Thank you, Bill.
Linda,
Yeah.